how to make your arm muscles grow quickly. Today, I'll give you 5 top tips to help your arms grow muscle fast. First, I'll provide a very specific step-by-step plan. To begin with, you'll use supersets in your training. If you're unfamiliar with supersets, they generally refer to performing 2 exercises consecutively without rest between them. Here's a specific superset arm workout. Start with barbell curls and combine them with seated barbell curls. For standing barbell curls, you need to use a heavy enough weight so that you can only manage about 8-10 repetitions. Then for seated curls, use a lighter weight but aim for 20 repetitions. Keep in mind, the weight should still be challenging enough that you're barely able to complete the 20 reps. You should reach failure on the 20th rep or sooner. After finishing the superset, rest for 2-3 minutes and repeat the 2 exercises back to back. Perform 3 sets in total. Next, you'll perform alternating standing dumbbell curls, 10 reps per side. Then superset this with external rotation dumbbell curls, 20 reps per side. For the external rotation curls, keep your elbows close to your torso and rotate your forearms and hands away from your body before curling up. Now let's train your triceps with a superset of lying dumbbell triceps extensions, 10 reps, and diamond push-ups or close grip push-ups. 20 reps. After completing 3 sets, you'll do a superset of overhead dumbbell triceps extensions, 10 reps, and bent over dumbbell kickbacks, 20 reps. Finish with a superset of rope curls, 10 reps, and rope triceps pushdowns, 10 reps. That's the full arm workout. However, over time, you should gradually increase the load. All these exercises focus on lifting heavy. So each time you do these exercises, the goal is to lift more weight than last time. Obviously, increasing the weight every single arm workout isn't realistic. In fact, you may hit a plateau for a while, but you should always aim to push yourself to lift more weight. Sometimes it may take a month or more, but the goal should always be to challenge yourself with heavier weights. If you can easily complete all 10 reps or all 20 reps in the superset, it means you need to increase the weight, even if it's just a small increment, like adding 2 kilograms per side. These small increases in weight play a huge role in helping you grow. If you keep lifting the same weight, you'll see some initial results, but your progress will gradually slow down. The only way to consistently see results is to consistently increase the intensity of your workouts. The best way to do that is to increase the weight over time. Remember, pushing yourself to lift heavier weights is crucial. If you're able to complete all 10 reps in every set, it means you're not using enough weight. Next is one of the most important factors for arm growth: diet. Simply put, you need to make sure you're eating enough food to create a caloric surplus. This doesn't mean your diet should be full of junk food, nor does it mean you can eat unlimited calories, as that will cause you to gain a lot of fat. To easily calculate how many calories you should consume daily, you can multiply your body weight by 15 to get your maintenance calories, and then add 300-500 calories. Over the next few weeks, you can adjust as needed. If you aren't gaining weight, increase your calorie intake. If you're gaining too much, reduce it. To ensure you don't gain too much fat, focus on healthy proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. While you could gain muscle with just a couple of meals per day, research shows it's better to try to distribute your protein intake evenly throughout the day. So to maximize muscle gain, I recommend eating at least 4 meals a day, with a relatively even distribution of protein across those meals. Without the right diet structure, your arms won't increase much in size. Another thing you need to make sure of is training your arms more frequently, at least twice a week. You should dedicate at least 2 days per week to arm training, focusing on your biceps and triceps. If you're training arms twice a week, try to space the sessions 3-4 days apart for maximum growth potential. Lastly, sleep is just as important. Many people overlook this key component of muscle building. When you sleep, your body releases various hormones like growth hormone, which plays a critical role in muscle growth and repair. This hormone helps rebuild damaged muscle tissue and promotes the growth of new muscle fibers, which over time increases your strength and size. Sleep is essential because it puts your body in a deep state of relaxation, helping to reduce muscle tension and inflammation. This relaxation also improves blood flow to your muscles, delivering the oxygen and nutrients needed for growth and repair. On the other hand, if you're sleep deprived, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol, which slows down the muscle building process. Lack of sleep also negatively impacts your testosterone levels, which are crucial when your goal is to increase arm muscle size. Therefore, don't neglect your sleep. By following these steps, you can build arm muscle quickly and efficiently. To maximize muscle growth, how many sets should one muscle group receive? Some people say that doing just one set to failure is best, while others advocate for high training volume, doing 4-5 sets per exercise, and almost living in the gym all day. So, how many sets are truly optimal, especially for natural lifters? The final answer may surprise you. In 2017, researcher Brad Schoenfeld conducted a large-scale analysis for the first time to study the impact of set numbers on muscle growth. They compared the weekly set numbers for each muscle group, 1-5 sets, 5-9 sets, and 10 or more sets per muscle group per week. For example, 6 weekly sets for the chest could be 3 sets of bench presses and 3 sets of flies. They found a dose-response relationship between muscle growth and the number of sets per muscle group, with growth being fastest when doing 10 or more sets per muscle group per week. After this analysis was published, almost all fitness enthusiasts believed that more sets were better. This philosophy spread widely, both internationally and locally, leading people to believe that the more sets you do, the more muscle stimulation you get, and thus the more muscle growth you achieve. Nearly everyone thought this way. Fortunately, 6 years later, a new group of researchers decided to perform a similar analysis. This time, they compared lower training volumes of fewer than 12 sets per muscle per week, medium volumes of 12-20 sets, and high volumes of more than 20 sets. The results showed that compared to low volume, both medium and high training volumes resulted in more growth. However, in nearly all measured muscles, there was no significant difference between medium and high volumes. Overall, this analysis suggested that there might be some sort of upper limit on training volume, and excessive training volume may not bring more growth. In some cases, it might even hinder muscle growth due to recovery issues. The ideal range appears to be between 10 and 20 sets per muscle per week, but there are individual differences. Some people respond better to lower volumes, around 8 sets. Some respond better to medium volumes, around 14 sets, and some respond better to higher volumes, around 25 sets. A study published in the Journal of Sports Science in 2019 illustrates this point. The researchers had 19 participants train one leg with 6-9 sets per week and the other leg with 15 sets per week. After 8 weeks, about 1/3 of the participants' legs responded better to low training volume, 1/3 of the participants' legs responded better to high volume, and 1/3 of the participants' legs responded similarly to both volumes. This indicates that the optimal number of sets for one person may be too much for another person. In other words, the training plan that works for someone else might not work for you. After all, the results from various studies are based on averages. This requires us to find the most suitable training volume for ourselves, based on our own training response and intensity. Another factor is your training frequency and rest time between sets. If you're doing a 3-day split, you can afford to increase the number of sets for your target muscles during one session. For example, if you do 8 sets of chest exercises on Monday and 8 sets on Thursday, you're splitting your muscle training across 2 days, avoiding excessive fatigue and maintaining high training quality. If you're doing a 5-day split and want to increase the number of sets in one session, this can lead to overtraining and cause your workout quality to decline, as you'll be doing sets with less intensity, reducing training effectiveness. As for rest times between sets, the longer your rest, the better your chances of hitting your target reps for the next set. This means you can do more sets, increasing the volume per set, which translates into more muscle stimulation. However, if your rest time is too short and your body and nervous system haven't fully recovered from the previous set, you'll have a harder time hitting your target reps, reducing the training volume per set and making it difficult to properly stimulate your muscles. In conclusion, it's recommended to adjust your rest time to at least 3 minutes, but no more than 5 minutes. Properly planning your training schedule is crucial, so stop thinking that more is always better and avoid spending an entire afternoon in the gym. This approach allows you to maintain quality training without overworking yourself, ensuring that you're still making progress effectively. Can you gain muscle and lose fat at the same time? This video isn't for beginners, so watch with caution. It's safe to say that gaining muscle while losing fat is the dream of every fitness enthusiast. Unfortunately, when it comes to things that are easier said than done, achieving both muscle gain and fat loss simultaneously tops the list in the fitness world. However, this doesn't mean it's impossible. Conceptually, this process is known as body recomposition. Whether you can achieve significant muscle gain and fat loss at the same time depends largely on your current fitness condition. If you're unsure about your fitness level or the concept of body recomposition, this video might help you understand the basic principles of simultaneously gaining muscle and losing fat. It's actually not that complicated. It largely revolves around two things: training and daily caloric intake. That's it. Of course, doing these two things correctly requires some thought and effort. First, let's talk about training. In any muscle gain plan, there's no doubt that resistance training is a must. Only by applying resistance to your muscles, whether through bodyweight exercises or weight training, can you stimulate the muscles and promote growth. Studies show that each muscle group should be trained at least 2-3 times per week to better manage training volume. Most training plans even require 5-6 sessions per week to spread the workload across different muscle groups. Regardless, training must be progressive in both training volume and intensity. Training volume refers to the number of repetitions, sets, and weight lifted, and this number needs to continuously increase. As for intensity, each session should be close to maximal effort, near muscle failure. On non-training days, you can simply rest to allow your body to recover, or you can incorporate cardio as needed. Cardio burns more calories, which helps reduce fat. You can choose any cardio exercise you enjoy, but it's strongly recommended to avoid high-intensity cardio like HIIT because it could interfere with muscle recovery and negatively impact your performance on training days. Diet is where the magic really happens. So, how many calories should you consume to simultaneously gain muscle and lose fat? Should you eat more, less, or maintain the same intake? The answer is actually a combination of all three. That's why we discuss training first. Your diet plan should be based on your training plan. Ideally, you should eat slightly more on training days, eat less, or maintain the same amount on rest days. The main goal is to stay close to your maintenance calories, also known as TDE, total daily energy expenditure. The key to gaining muscle while losing fat is to keep your weight stable while shifting your body composition toward more muscle and less fat. So ideally, you should aim to achieve two things: consume more nutrients and calories on training days to fuel your body and improve workout performance. Additionally, research shows that consuming more nutrients, especially protein combined with training, can effectively promote muscle growth. Therefore, on training days, you should ideally eat more protein-rich foods to maximize muscle growth and workout performance. The calorie surplus on training days should be around 300-500 calories, primarily from carbohydrates. On rest days, it's the opposite. You aim to reduce fat through a calorie deficit. If you're more focused on muscle gain, you can choose to consume maintenance calories. But ideally, the calorie deficit should match the surplus, meaning about a 300-500 calorie deficit. If your calorie intake on training days is higher than on rest days, you may need to do more cardio to burn extra calories, so you won't have to eat too little. Of course, we can't forget the most important nutrient recognized by fitness experts: protein. Because of its high thermic effect, it's difficult for the body to convert protein into fat for storage. Additionally, protein is the main building block of muscle. So, whether it's a training day or a rest day, you should maintain a high protein intake. The general recommendation is to consume 1.6-2.3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day to maximize muscle gain, ideally aiming for the higher end of that range. Lastly, it's important to be patient. Achieving muscle gain and fat loss simultaneously is the pursuit of two conflicting goals, and this process will certainly take longer than pursuing muscle gain or fat loss alone. So if you want to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, you'll need to follow the above steps to the best of your ability.